Welcome to another Tech Tuesdays. We have something super exciting going down today. We are unboxing a new camera. We got the Fujix100f. Let's check it out. Boom! Let's just get into this thing, guys. I'm super excited. Here we go. First glance. Ooh. Lens cap just comes right off, so there's no release on the lens cap, FYI. Boom. We have the camera here. Lens cap, let's throw that on. Your classic strap. Probably gonna order like a sick leather, like brown leather one to kind of continue the traditional look, but for now. So your classic charger, taking it, the battery is in the bottom. Oh no, it's probably in there. Alright, so we have our battery, little USB cable, charger cable. Oh, these are some extras to attach straps or something. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it. User manuals, no one reads those. Alright. So it has a very similar feel to the X100T. Yeah, again, I love the silver off the black. I didn't go with the all black because a lot of DSLRs nowadays have that. So just kind of wanted to go with the traditional look. I think it looks sweet. I'm down for it. So the thing I love most about this camera is it has a dedicated dial for everything. Like in the front here, you have your aperture. On the top, you have your ISO and shutter speed. And then it makes it really convenient to have your exposure compensation right on your thumb. We need to also keep in mind that this is a 24 megapixel camera, has built-in Wi-Fi, shoots 14-bit raw photos, does 1080p video in 60 frames a second. Like, guys, this camera to me is an all-in-one fun little, has its own look, has its own feel. Like, this is what you look for as a filmmaker and a photographer. And I am so stoked to have my hands on it. I'm so stoked to go in the field and try this thing out. This camera actually has a 22mm f2 lens, but because it's a crop sensor, it acts as a 35mm lens, which is honestly my favorite lens because it acts most true to the human eye. So when you're taking photographs and you see something, your camera can actually capture what you're seeing. What makes this camera different the most is it has a fixed 35mm lens, which means you can't take off the lens. You're stuck with this lens all day. And for me personally, I know that's going to push my creativity and make me learn how to work with a lens rather than just quickly change something to make it work with where I'm at. So the 35mm lens has some history. It's been well known in street photography and documentary style footage, and that's why I bought this camera. I had the chance to shoot on this a few months ago when my good friend Sawyer Hartman, I think I mentioned earlier, he's the one who put me on this camera, but I actually shot on his for a few days during a wedding, and the results were just mind-boggling, and I said I had to get my hands on this camera. So here we are today. It's in our hands, and the reason why I chose this camera to help me learn photography is all the buttons like your f-stop, shutter speed, ISO are not very deep inside the camera to where you have to go through a menu and find it. It's all right here. It's very quick, it's very hands-on, and that's how I learn the best. If I'm trying to point the camera down and look here, I'm not focused on what's going on here. And so that's why I'm very excited to kind of get in and play with it, because I really want to push my photography. I really wanted to get into film, and this camera does all that all in one. You need to know all your camera settings. You need to be able to adjust on the fly. You need to know what you're looking to adjust to be able to do it. In a DSLR, sometimes that can just happen from a click of a button, or the camera pretty much does it for you. Here, to not be too straightforward, if you don't know what you're doing, the photos won't turn out good. So that forces you to learn and figure out what you're doing very quickly. Also has built-in ND filters, so when you're in the field and you're trying to get that shot and you don't have time to quickly screw on a filter, just a click of a button and boom, you're ready to go. So you can shoot on f2 all day long and not have to worry about it. To me, I find that is a huge advantage, and again, it's going to make this camera probably my main photography camera. Fuji has also thrown in a bunch of color profiles that you can use for video as well, which definitely add an interesting look to your content. So I really recommend giving those a shot. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to replace my 1DX with the 70-200 because that has its own look. It's not going to replace the 1DX with the 100mm micro because that has its own look. But guys, this Fuji camera will have its own look as well and definitely is going to find its place in my camera bag. I have a few local friends who's going to go out and shoot a BMX shoot tonight. I asked them if I could tag along and test out the new Fuji camera. I think we all decided on if you get a new camera and you don't shoot it that day, I think you're breaking the camera law. So let's get out there, let's go shoot and find what this thing has to offer. Check this out. Yeah, it's going down. Alright, we got to 9th and 9th. Austin's getting his lights set up. Got a few shots going. And there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed a few of those photos. I know I had a blast today. Austin, thanks for coming out. K-Dog, you threw down as always. And there you have it, guys. A little rundown of the Fujix100f. Get your hands on one. And that's a wrap for today's Tech Tuesday. We'll see you next time. Peace.